Another Saturday full of college football action. Not too many Saturdays left in this season, that's for sure. Hi guys, Al DeMarco here, General Manager and Lead Handicapper at the world's largest online sports handicapping community, PickNation.com. Every Saturday joining you right here with free picks and betting strategies. You know, last weekend in college football, top 25 teams, well, they went 16-7 straight up. Not exactly overwhelming, but even worse so, they went 9-14 against the spread. And how about those double-digit favorites in top 25 action last week? Well, they went 12-2 straight up. 5-9, though, versus the odds makers. First free pick coming your way today. It's going to be the Stanford-USC contest. And yes, it is a double-digit spread. Now, you remember, the last time the Cardinal invaded the Coliseum, a 41-point underdog that won outright in 2007. One of the greatest college football upsets ever, I personally believe, because on that day they ended USC's 35-game home winning streak. 7-3 ATS series run for the Cardinal, including 4 of the last 5. And of course, Stanford last week upsetting Oregon as a home dog, 51-42, but you saw that one coming because Oregon was in a typical letdown situation after upsetting USC 1 week earlier. And listen, that 51-42 score, it wasn't nearly that close of a game, as Stanford was up by 20 points late in the game before the Ducks made an aborted comeback bid. Toby Gerhardt, the Stanford running back that most of you have never heard of, 38 carries, a school record 223 yards, plus he scored 3 times in that win. Meanwhile, USC, well, they naturally had a letdown of their own after getting hammered by Oregon a week earlier, 47-20 in Eugene. They struggled last week in Tempe, Arizona against the Arizona State Sun Devils, barely squeaking by 14-9 in that game. Matt Barkley, for the first time this season, truly played like the freshman that he is, 7 for 22 for 112 yards in that game. Guys, I think in this particular spot, you've got to go with a confident Stanford team. There is no love lost between these two squads. Grab all the points you can with Stanford. Now, before we get to your next game with Miami and North Carolina, I want to talk about your opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid free High Rollers weekend at my favorite place to play and gamble and stay in Las Vegas, the Golden Nugget Hotel Casino in downtown Las Vegas. Guys, every single month at PickNation.com, in conjunction with the Golden Nugget Hotel Casino, we are giving away 1 free High Rollers weekend. And what do you get if you win? Well, guys, not only are you going to get a free High Rollers suite at the Golden Nugget Hotel Casino in downtown Vegas, but you also are going to get VIP limo transportation to and from McCarran International to the Golden Nugget. You are also going to get VIP check-in, no waiting in long lines for you guys. You are going to get VIP treatment from start to finish, and you're also going to get 2 free tickets to the Gordy Brown show at the VIP theater as well at the Golden Nugget. And guys, it is all available to 1 free lucky winner each month at PickNation.com. And here's the best part, guys. This contest, you enter it, there is no purchase necessary. No purchase necessary. Just go to PickNation.com and enter the contest now. Enter your email address and the information required, and that is all you've got to do, guys. It's where I play. Listen, join. Enter the contest. If you win, we'll be hanging out together at the Golden Nuggets where I was last weekend. Hopefully, you'll be joining me there in the next 30 days. That's at the Golden Nugget Hotel Casino in Las Vegas. Now, next game up, we're going to be talking about Miami of Florida and North Carolina and Chapel Hill. You know, the Hurricanes have never won in Chapel Hill. 0-3 lifetime. Big revenge game for Miami of Florida. Lost last year in the final minutes of the game, 28-24 in South Florida. Butch Davis, one-time Miami of Florida head coach, 2-0 lifetime against his former assistant, Randy Shannon, the current Hurricanes head man. North Carolina coming into this game after a 19-6 win against Duke. That, of course, was preceded by their road upset of Virginia Tech. They held the Duke Blue Devils to just 125 total yards in that win last week. Not a big surprise because North Carolina brings in the ACC's #1 total defense in this game, giving up just 249 total yards. Meanwhile, they're also #1 in terms of the ACC scoring defense, allowing just 15 points per game. As for Miami of Florida, they got back on the winning track, 52-17 17 rout of the Virginia Cavaliers, a Virginia team that's just slumping down the home stretch. Virginia playing without its starting quarterback in that game. Meanwhile, Miami starting quarterback Ja'Cory Harris continuing a strong season, 18 for 31 versus the Cavaliers, 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Greg Cooper, a career-high 152 yards rushing. This is an interesting game for Miami of Florida from this perspective. This game starts at 3:30 Eastern Time. Now, Miami of Florida needs Duke to upset Georgia Tech in order to still compete for the ACC Coastal Crown. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. And the other thing is, Georgia Tech and Duke kick off 3 hours earlier. So some will say that this game is going to be meaningless by the time Miami of Florida takes the field. But I say it's still a big game for 2 reasons. 1, it's payback, as I told you earlier. 2, keep in mind, Miami of Florida is number 14 currently in the BCS standings because of all the upheaval you had at the top end of the polls last week. They win out. They've still got a great chance at a huge bowl game late here in December, early January. So I say go ahead and buy down the half point because the difference in this game is going to be the quarterback play, and that's going to be Ja'Cory Harris. Buy down the half point to 3 and go with the Hurricane. Last game is going to be the Big Ten battle between Ohio State and Iowa. Now, somebody on this set last week said that Penn State was going to kick Ohio State's. Well, we won't say exactly what they were going to kick. Now, I don't know who it is. I'm looking around, but I guess it was me. I was a little off on that game, as you probably could figure out by now, because Ohio State went into Happy Valley and they didn't make too many of those 110,000 fans in attendance in a Happy Valley too happy because they walked out of Happy Valley with a 24-7 win. So the Buckeyes were happy, and now the Buckeyes are coming back home to Columbus to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes, meanwhile, last week, not only did they lose their quarterback to injury, but they also lost their first game of the season, getting upset by Northwestern as a double-digit favorite, one of those teams I talked about earlier here in the program. Now, Iowa finds itself with a new starting quarterback in Columbus taking on Ohio State. Could Ohio State be in for a letdown? Well, absolutely they could, because they have that little game with Michigan around the corner. But listen, Ohio State has the inside track now to the Rose Bowl. I just don't picture the Buckeyes having a letdown, especially with the mental toughness they showed in going to Penn State last week. I was wrong last week about the Buckeyes. This week, I am putting my faith in Jim Tressel's team. So, Jim, do not let me down here, okay? Plus, the other factor is this. Guys, I wasn't that impressed with Iowa before they lost their starting quarterback. I'm certainly not going to be backing the Hawkeyes now as a double-digit underdog. Consider this. They are 1-7 against the spread the last 8 games in this series. Average losing margin, 23 points a game. They have failed in their last 5 trips to the Horseshoe to win or cover. Okay, so lay the points with Ohio State. That'll be the last free pay. So we're going to go with Ohio State, Miami of Florida, once again by down the half point at North Carolina as they win for the first time ever in 3 previous tries. They went down at Chapel Hill. And we're going to grab the points with Stanford getting near double digits at the Coliseum against Southern Cal. That will do it for today's card. And remember, Steve Budin will be joining me for Sunday's big NFL breakdown as we take a look at some of the marquee games on your Sunday NFL slate and break them down from a gambling perspective. Among them, the marquee matchup of all the games in the NFL this weekend, the Colts and the Patriots. That'll be tomorrow, and we'll catch you then.